Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this special video. We're about to embark on a journey through some of the most thrilling, dramatic, and frankly unforgettable moments in football history. You know, those matches that have you on the edge of your seat, heart-pounding, whether you're in the stands or on the sofa. We're talking about the kind of games that become legendary, the kind you tell your grandkids about. The goals, the saves, the tackles, the moments of pure magic that define the beautiful game. From World Cup finals to epic clashes between rivals, we'll relive the drama and the passion, the skill and the tension. So buckle up and get ready to dive into a world of footballing brilliance. We'll be revisiting some of the greatest players to ever grace the pitch, the likes of Pelé, Maradona and many more. These are the matches that made them legends, the goals that etched their names in football folklore. Whether you're a die-hard fan or just discovering the magic of football, get ready for a roller coaster of emotions. This is the Top 10 Football Classics, a celebration of the beautiful game at its absolute finest. The 1970 World Cup in Mexico, a tournament that shimmered with the promise of attacking football and produced a final for the ages. Brazil, a team brimming with talent and spearheaded by the legendary Pelé, were the overwhelming favourites. They dazzled throughout the tournament, playing with a swagger and fluidity that had opponents chasing shadows. Italy, known for their defensive solidity and tactical discipline, were no pushovers. They'd shown their own resilience, edging past a strong West German side in the semi-final. The final, a clash of styles, was set to be a fascinating encounter. As the whistle blew, the Azteca Stadium, bathed in the Mexican sunshine, crackled with anticipation. Brazil, in their iconic yellow jerseys, started brightly, their intricate passing and movement causing the Italian defence all sorts of problems. The stage was set for a classic, a battle between two footballing philosophies. Would Brazil's flair and attacking prowess prevail, or could Italy's tactical discipline stifle the samba rhythm? Brazil, true to form, turned on the style. Pelé, playing in his final World Cup, was at his majestic best, orchestrating attacks and tormenting the Italian defence. His goal, a powerful header that left the Italian goalkeeper rooted to the spot, was a thing of beauty. But this wasn't a one-man show. Gjertsino, Gerson and Tostão all got in on the act, showcasing the kind of free-flowing, attacking football that Brazil were renowned for. The goals flowed, each one a testament to their skill and creativity. Italy, despite their best efforts, simply couldn't contain the Brazilian onslaught. They battled bravely, but the gulf in class was evident. Their consolation goal, a well-taken strike by Roberto Boninsegna, was a mere footnote in a match that belonged to Brazil. The final whistle blew, with the scoreline reading Brazil 4-1 Italy. It was a victory that cemented Brazil's status as arguably the greatest international team of all time. The 1970 World Cup final, a masterclass in attacking football, remains etched in the memories of football fans worldwide. Fast forward to 1982 and the World Cup in Spain. Once again, Brazil and Italy found themselves on a collision course, this time in the second group stage. Brazil, boasting a team brimming with attacking talent, were the pre-tournament favourites. Led by the likes of Zico, Socrates and Falcao, they played with a swagger and fluency that had fans purring. Italy, under the stewardship of Enzo Bearzot, were a team in transition. They'd endured a difficult start to the tournament, scraping through the first group stage with 3 draws, but they possessed a steely determination and a knack for grinding out results. The match, played in the cauldron-like atmosphere of the Sarria Stadium in Barcelona, was a tense and tightly contested affair. Brazil, as expected, dominated possession, their intricate passing and movement stretching the Italian defence. Italy, however, defended resolutely, their backline, marshalled by the colossal Gaetano Scirea, repelling wave after wave of Brazilian attacks. The first half ended goalless, but the tension was palpable. Something had to give. The second half promised to be a cracker. The second half began in a similar vein, with Brazil probing for an opening. And then, against the run of play, disaster struck for Brazil. A defensive mix-up allowed Paolo Rossi, who had endured a difficult tournament up to that point, to pounce and give Italy the lead. Brazil responded with fury, laying siege to the Italian goal. Their persistence paid off when Socrates, the bearded maestro, slotted home a deserved equaliser. The momentum seemed to be with Brazil, but Italy, showing their resilience, hit back almost immediately. Rossi, in predatory form, bagged his second, capitalising on another defensive lapse. Brazil, stunned but not beaten, threw everything at Italy. They finally breached the Italian rearguard again when Falcao, the elegant midfielder, unleashed a thunderous strike from the edge of the box. The scores were level and the stage was set for a grandstand finish. But it was Italy, and Rossi in particular, who had the final say. With just minutes remaining, the Italian striker completed his hat-trick, heading home from close range to send the Italian fans into raptures and break Brazilian hearts. Italy had done the unthinkable, defeating the pre-tournament favourites in a match that would forever be etched in World Cup folklore. Well, folks, let's rewind to 2009, shall we? Manchester was buzzing, and why wouldn't it be? It was Derby Day, United versus City, the red half against the blue. Both teams were looking sharp, but there was a different feel about City that year. Mark Hughes had them playing some decent stuff, and with Robinho in their ranks, they had the firepower to cause any team problems. United, under Fergie, were, as always, going for the title, and they had a certain Cristiano Ronaldo on the wing, terrorising fullbacks for fun. He was a joy to watch, wasn't he? The atmosphere was electric, crackling with anticipation. You could cut the tension with a knife, and it was clear this wasn't just another game. This was a Manchester derby with a capital D. The game itself was a cracker, end-to-end stuff, tackles flying in and goals. Wayne Rooney always loved a goal against City, put United ahead, and the Stretford end went wild. Then, just before half-time, City got a penalty. Carlos Tevez, remember him, stepped up and slotted it home. You could feel the ground shake as the City fans erupted. 1-1 at the break, and we were in for a tense second half. The second half was a real nail-biter, both teams going for it, but it was that man, Michael Owen, who came off the bench to score a dramatic winner in the dying seconds. Talk about a finish! The place went absolutely bonkers. It was a classic Manchester derby and a reminder that sometimes it's the late goals that really get the pulse racing. Now let's jet off to sunny Spain for a match that had the whole world glued to their screens. El Clásico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, a rivalry like no other. It was May 2009. Pep Guardiola was in his first season as Barcelona manager, and he had this young Lionel Messi absolutely flying. Real Madrid, under Manuel Pellegrini, had just splashed a world record fee on Cristiano Ronaldo. The stage was set for a titanic clash of styles and superstars. Barcelona, with their tiki-taka football, were a joy to watch, but Real Madrid had the firepower to hurt anyone. The atmosphere at the Bernabeu was electric. The fans were up for it. The players were up for it. Even the ball boy looked excited. And what a match it was. Barcelona was simply irresistible that night. Messi, well, he was unplayable. He scored two, Thierry Henry grabbed a brace, and even Carles Puyol popped up with a goal. Real Madrid was shell-shocked. They couldn't cope with Barcelona's movement, their passing, their ruthlessness. It was a masterclass in attacking football. The final score, Barcelona 6, Real Madrid 2. It was a night that will live long in the memory of every Barcelona fan, and a stark reminder of the gulf in class between the two sides that season. Even Real Madrid fans could only applaud the brilliance of Barcelona that night. It was a privilege to witness such a display of footballing artistry. Now, let's talk about a man who needs no introduction, Diego Armando Maradona, a true icon of the game, and in the 1986 World Cup, he produced a moment of magic and controversy that will never be forgotten. It was the quarter-final, Argentina against England. Tensions were high, the atmosphere was electric. 6 minutes into the second half, Maradona chased a hopeful ball forward. Peter Shilton, England's goalkeeper, came out to punch clear, but Maradona, with his left hand, clearly punched the ball into the net. The England players were furious, but the goal stood. A little bit of hand of God, Maradona famously said afterwards. Four minutes later, Maradona produced a moment of pure genius. Picking the ball up in his own half, he went on a mazy run, beating 5 England players, yes, 5, before slotting the ball past Shilton. It was breathtaking, unbelievable, the greatest goal in World Cup history. Even the England fans, still fuming about the first goal, could only marvel at the sheer brilliance of Maradona. 2 goals, one shrouded in controversy, the other a moment of pure genius. That was Maradona, a player who could produce the sublime and the ridiculous in equal measure. Argentina went on to win the World Cup that year, and Maradona, well, he cemented his place as a true legend of the game. The year is 2002. Hampden Park, Glasgow, the Champions League final. Real Madrid, the Galacticos, against a very capable Bayer Leverkusen side. The atmosphere was electric, a real sense of anticipation in the air. Real Madrid had already seen off the likes of Bayern Munich and Barcelona on their way to the final. They were the clear favourites, but Leverkusen had knocked out both Liverpool and Manchester United, so they weren't there to make up the numbers. It was a tight game, full of tension. Raúl had put Real Madrid ahead early on, but Leverkusen quickly equalised through Lucio. 1-1 at half-time, and the game was on a knife edge. The second half was just as cagey. Both sides had chances, but neither could find a way through. You could tell it was going to take something special to win it. And then it happened. In the 45th minute, Roberto Carlos, who else, whipped in one of his trademark looping crosses. It was a difficult one to deal with, high and hanging in the air. Zidane, lurking on the edge of the box, watched the ball all the way. He had his back to goal, but with a touch of genius, he swiveled his body and met the ball on the volley with his weaker left foot. The connection was perfect. The ball flew past the helpless Leverkusen goalkeeper, Hans-Jörg Butt, and into the back of the net. It was a goal worthy of winning any final, a goal that will be replayed for years to come. Zidane's goal secured Real Madrid's 9th European Cup and cemented his status as a true legend of the game. It was the perfect way for him to cap off a glittering career. The Champions League. It's the competition where legends are made. And in 2018, Cristiano Ronaldo produced a moment of magic that will be talked about for years to come. The setting was the quarter-final second leg against Juventus in Turin. The atmosphere was electric, as you'd expect for a game of this magnitude. Real Madrid were leading 3-0 from the first leg, but you could never write off Juventus, especially in their own backyard. And sure enough, Juventus came out all guns blazing. They were 2-0 up on the night and looking dangerous. The momentum was with the Italian side. You could sense the nerves creeping into the Real Madrid players. Then, in the 64th minute, Real Madrid won a corner. It wasn't the most dangerous of positions, but as we've seen time and time again, when the ball is in the air, Cristiano Ronaldo is more often than not the first to meet it. As the ball was delivered into the box, Ronaldo, with his back to goal, leaped into the air. Time seemed to stand still. He contorted his body and connected with the ball perfectly, sending it flying past the legendary Gianluigi Buffon in the Juventus goal. The technique was simply breathtaking, a bicycle kick executed to perfection. Even the Juventus fans couldn't help but applaud. It was one of those moments where you had to appreciate the sheer brilliance of the goal, regardless of which team you supported. The goal effectively sealed Real Madrid's place in the semi-finals. They went on to win the Champions League that year, with Ronaldo playing a pivotal role. But it was that goal against Juventus that everyone remembers. A goal that epitomized Ronaldo's incredible athleticism and unquenchable thirst for goals. It was a goal that defied logic, a goal that left you speechless. It was quite simply Cristiano Ronaldo at his very best. Pelé. A name synonymous with footballing genius. Born Edson Arantes do Nascimento, this Brazilian icon transcended the sport, becoming a global symbol of excellence. His story began in the small town of Tres Coracoes, Brazil. From humble beginnings, his talent was evident from a young age. He burst onto the scene as a teenager, captivating the world with his dazzling skills, and an unquenchable thirst for goals. At just 17 years old, he announced himself on the world stage at the 1958 World Cup. He led Brazil to victory, scoring a hat-trick in the semi-final and a brace in the final. The world had never seen anything quite like him. He went on to win 2 more World Cups in 1962 and 1970, cementing his place as a national hero and a global icon. His performances in those tournaments were the stuff of legend. Pelé's impact on football extended far beyond trophies and accolades. He possessed a unique blend of speed, skill, vision and athleticism that left defenders bewildered. His ability to score goals from seemingly impossible angles was simply remarkable. He was a true ambassador for the beautiful game, inspiring generations of players with his artistry and sportsmanship. His infectious smile and humble demeanor endeared him to fans all over the world. With over 1,200 career goals to his name, Pelé's legacy is undeniable. He was more than just a footballer, he was an artist, an innovator and a symbol of hope. His impact on the sport is immeasurable. He helped to popularize football globally, paving the way for future generations to enjoy the beautiful game. Even today, his name is spoken with reverence and awe, a testament to the enduring legacy of the King of Football. Now, we come to another true icon of the game, Diego Armando Maradona. Love him or loathe him, you couldn't take your eyes off him. And he provided some of the most iconic moments in World Cup history, both for the right and, well, let's say debatable reasons in the very same match against England in 1986. The first, his infamous Hand of God goal, still sparks debate to this day. Did he handle it? Well, even Maradona himself later admitted it was a bit of Hand of God, but you know what? It was a piece of incredible cunning and opportunism. You've got to admire the sheer audacity. Even if it did leave Peter Shilton with that look on his face that said it all. But let's be honest, it's the second goal in that match that truly defines Maradona's genius. Picking the ball up in his own half, he danced past half the England team, leaving them for dead. It was pure footballing poetry in motion. The way he glided past those defenders, it was like they weren't even there. And the finish, cool as you like, slotting it past Shilton, absolutely breathtaking. Maradona was more than just a footballer, he was a cultural phenomenon, especially in his home country. They called him El Pibe de Oro, the Golden Boy, and he carried the hopes and dreams of an entire nation on his shoulders. He almost single-handedly led Argentina to World Cup glory in 1986, culminating in that unforgettable victory against West Germany in the final. His vision, his passing, his dribbling, it was a joy to behold. But it was his sheer will to win that really set him apart. He was a true leader on the pitch, inspiring his teammates with his passion and desire. Maradona was a complex character for sure, but there's no denying his impact on the game. He was a true one-off, a player who could make the impossible seem possible, and his legend will live on forever. Now, let's rewind to 1999, and a Champions League final that had it all: drama, tension, and a finish that no one could have predicted. Manchester United, chasing an unprecedented treble, faced a formidable Bayern Munich side in Barcelona's iconic Camp Nou. Right from the off, Bayern Munich took control of the game. They were first to every ball, their passing was crisp and precise, and they looked like scoring with every attack. Manchester United, on the other hand, were second best for much of the match. They struggled to get their passing game going, and their star players were kept quiet by a well-drilled Bayern defence. Just when it seemed like Bayern would cruise to victory, they struck. A free kick on the edge of the box, and up stepped Mario Basler. His curling effort beat Peter Schmeichel, sending the Bayern fans into raptures. It was a goal worthy of winning any final, and at that moment it looked like it would be the winner. As the clock ticked down, Manchester United's hopes seemed to be fading with every passing second. They threw everything they had at Bayern, but the German side stood firm, defending resolutely. With just minutes remaining, it felt like the dream of the treble was slipping away. But as we all know in football, it's never over until the final whistle blows, and in the dying moments of the match, Manchester United produced one of the most dramatic comebacks in football history. It started with a corner kick in the 91st minute. Teddy Sheringham, who had come on as a substitute, was in the right place at the right time to poke the ball home after a goal-mouth scramble. The Manchester United fans erupted, their hopes rekindled. Then, just moments later, history repeated itself. Another corner, another goal-mouth scramble, and this time it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer who emerged as the hero. His instinctive flick sent the ball flying into the back of the net, sending the Manchester United fans into delirium. From the depths of despair to the pinnacle of European football in the space of just 3 minutes. It was a truly remarkable turnaround, a testament to the never-say-die spirit of that Manchester United team. The Bayern players were left shell-shocked, their dreams shattered in the cruelest of circumstances. Well, there you have it. We've just touched on some of the most legendary moments in football history, but believe me, this is just a small part of the rich legacy that this beautiful game has to offer. From the breathtaking skills of Pelé and Maradona to the unforgettable drama of those classic matches, football has a unique ability to capture the imagination and create memories that last a lifetime. It's a sport that unites people from all walks of life, a global language that transcends borders and cultures. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share your favorite football classic moments in the comments below. Who knows, maybe your suggestion will feature in our next video? Until then, keep the passion for the beautiful game alive.